Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store and the link is listed below in the description. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description. Today, I'd like to share with you my customer appreciation products for December 2021. And we're going to be creating this really beautiful birthday card with those products today. Before we begin, I want to walk you through the products that you can earn for free when you purchase in December. So I have 3 different levels, and you can receive all 3 products at the highest level. So the first level is a $50 order, and this is before tax and shipping. And when you place that order, then you will receive the paper lattice embellishment accessory. I'm not really exactly sure what to call them, but they are super fun to use on your projects, and I've actually have used them in some other videos, and you can click on this link up here in the top right corner to see my latest video where I've used these. Today I'm going to share with you a fun way where you can change the color of those paper lattices, and that's what I've done with my card today. So the next level is a $100 order, and when you order at $100, you're going to receive the paper lattices as well as the Genial gems. And these beautiful gems come in 2 different colors. They are mint macaron and pale papaya, and they have a little bit of this fun glitter on the top of them. And we'll be using those as well on our card. Now, my last level is a $150 or more level, and you're going to receive these other 2 products along with the Sharing Sunshine stamp set. And this is the stamp set that I've used on my card today. It's just got some really beautiful and fun images that you can use together. So it's kind of like a layering stamp set in a way. And we'll be doing that today. I thought this would be just a really fun product to get at the beginning of a new year. You can begin making some fun birthday cards and just sharing that fun sunshine with others. So let's go ahead and start making our card. So the first thing we're going to do on our card is create this blended background. And I wanted it to feel kind of like a sunrise with lots of beautiful pinks and yellows. So I'm pulling in 4 different colors, and I'm going to begin with Fresh Freesia. And I'm using the blending brushes from Stampin' Up! To make this blend. And these are just a really great product. I love how soft and smooth they apply the ink. So one thing about blending is you do want to start off of your paper and then come onto your paper. And what that does is it just keeps any really harsh ink lines off of your blend. And you can add as much ink as you want to get a nice dark blend here. Now I also like to start with a bigger piece of cardstock and then cut it down to the size that I want. The next color I'm going to use is Polished Pink. And I am going to grab another blending brush, and I like to keep my blending brushes within certain color palettes, I guess you could say. So I have one blending brush for all my reds and pinks. I have another blending brush for oranges and yellows, blues, etc. I also like to use different strokes as I am blending these colors together, just so that I don't get any, again, harsh lines, that it's nice and smooth all the way across. Make sure to blend that into the Fresh Freesia just a little bit. The next color is Pale Papaya. So I've rotated my blend, and I'm going to need to hold on to this side that I've already added ink. And I'm going to use just a scratch paper here. And what that's going to do is keep the oils from my skin off the blended ink. It can kind of pick up the ink and remove it from the cardstock. And we don't want any fingerprints on my beautiful blend here. Just going to add a little bit more just to make that a little darker. I am also adding that into my polished pink as well. I can always come back with another color if I want to darken up another section or something. And then the last color I'm using is So Saffron, just a nice bright yellow. And you're going to end up with something that looks like this when you're all done with blending those beautiful colors together. All right, so let's get our messy stuff out of the way. I'm just going to put that off to the side. I've grabbed one of the paper lattices that you can get for free when you place an order with me. And we're going to do a fun technique where we're going to change this to white. And I'm going to begin with some Versamark. And what you do is just place it on some scratch paper and cover about half of your paper lattice with Versamark. Then you're going to need some white embossing powder, and you're just going to go ahead and lay that right over that Versamark. Tap off the excess, and then you're going to heat emboss this with a heat tool. All right, so I did speed that up. So it does take a little bit of time just to make sure you get all that fun white embossing powder nice and melted and shiny. And so I'm sure you can guess what we do over here on the other side. We're going to go ahead and just repeat and add another layer of Versamark and then your white embossing powder, and tap off the excess. And then you're going to heat just that side. All right, so that's all done. And just as a note, you could do this with any of the heat emboss colors that Stampin' Up! Has. Silver, copper, gold, black, lots of fun options with these paper lattices. And again, if you want to see some other techniques using the paper lattices, you can click on that top right corner and it'll take you to a different video. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the paper lattice to our blended background, and then we're going to trim it down. So there's different adhesives that you can use here. I'm going to just use some liquid adhesive and place it in the solid, behind the solid circles on the paper lattice. And the reason I'm using the liquid is because I do plan to trim it down. And if I was using a glue dot, that might be a little difficult to cut through. So just a little glue dot on the back of each of those circles, and then place this in the center of my blend. Make sure it is kind of gives me the colors that I want. And then go ahead and just press that down. I'm going to flip it over and just smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to wait for those that glue to dry a little bit before I cut it. And I'm going to do my stamping. I'm going to begin with my So Saffron color. And I'm going to stamp the circle image that gives me that nice big sun over in a corner on some scratch paper. Then I'm going to stamp the kind of a chunky sun ray image in So Saffron as well, but I want it to be a little lighter. So I'm just going to stamp it off on some scratch paper and then stamp on in the opposite corner. Just like that. And you can see that it's much lighter than the original inked image right there in the bottom. Then I've got my pale papaya, and we're going to add just a little detail here. Some happy sunshine, and we're just going to add this around that chunky one. It's a half circle, so you do need to kind of line it up. So it was a little bit hard to see. It's a little bit off center, but that's okay because we're going to be layering this over that one. So while we're here stamping, let's go ahead and do our greeting. And I'm going to do them in polished pink and fresh freesia. And you can choose between the two colors. It doesn't really matter which stamp is in which color. So I'm going to do the happy birthday. And here I have a piece of cardstock that is a 1/2 inch strip by 4 1/4 inches. And this is just going to fit nice and perfect right there on that strip. And I did that one in the polished pink. So on the next one I'm going to do is in fresh freesia. And this is a nice cute little stamp that says sunshine on it. And I'm stamping it on a strip that is a 1/4 of an inch. So it's nice and skinny and just right there in the center. And I think it's about 1 1/4 inches in length. So just very tiny little stamp right there. Okay, so now that our stamping is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out these circles with one of the layering circle dies. So I'm just going to go ahead, line that up, just whichever one fits. And then we're going to cut out the center sun as well. And we're going to layer these two on top of each other. So since I'm going to be going to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I do want to just mention that I have done a little prepping and have cut out 2 cloud images from some vellum, and I used the cloud border from the basic border dies, and I just love that. And what I did is just used a piece that was 2 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and then just kind of changed up the direction for both of those. So those have already been cut, and so let's go ahead and cut these at our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so now this is dry, and we're going to go ahead and trim this down. So there's a chance that I didn't put this on completely straight onto my cardstock. So I'm going to start by cutting off this little piece right here, and then we'll orient every cut to that original first cut. So to do that, I'm just going to line up the edge of the paper lattice right to the edge of my paper trimmer guide here. Just make sure that's nice and straight. And then I want to make sure I have good pressure and that I carefully cut through that paper lattice. I don't want to tear it. So you want to make sure you also have a nice sharp blade. So after I've just cut off a little bit there, I'm going to now kind of decide where to make my next cut. My finished piece I want to be 3 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. And so I'm just going to probably end up trimming just a little bit off here as well. Make sure that's nice and straight. Again, nice sharp blade. Go slowly. Be careful not to tear your paper lattice any. If you need to use a pair of scissors instead, you can do that. So this one tore just a little bit, but that's okay. So again, we're going to 3 inches here. So you can go ahead and cut your next cut at 3 inches. If you want to try and get it to be even, you can maybe fudge it just a little bit and make it a little bigger if you want. Okay. There we go. So just so that the image looks the same going across. And then here we've got, we're going 4 3/4. There we go. So now this piece is ready for our card, and we're going to add it to a piece that's just larger of So Saffron. So to add that piece, let's go ahead and add some adhesive to the back and just place that right in the center. Then we can add this directly to our card base, and I'm just using a card base of thick basic white cardstock. I do think that thick basic white is the best white cardstock to create your card bases from. If you're using just regular basic white, then your card's going to be just a little bit on the flimsy side when it comes to the card base. I love basic white for stamping and for die cutting and all the embellishments that you want to add to your card, but thick basic white is perfect for a card base. So once we've done that, we're going to add our clouds to our card. And this just gives a soft little texture for the sun to sit on and kind of help pop those things up from the card base itself. So I'm going to take the front one and I'm going to add some glue dots in the bottom corners. And I'm adding adhesive where I'm going to be covering the vellum, because adhesive can show quite easily through vellum. Then I'm just going to match up those corners from the large one to the small one so that I get some fun layering happening in between those clouds. And then again, I can add this to my card with some glue dots in the corner. And I just want to place this about halfway in my card. So just use your grid paper and just eyeball about where half would be. And make sure it's nice and straight going across like that. Then you're going to want to take your sun, and the first layer is going to go between the clouds. So wherever you want to place that, you can do it on the right side or the left side if you want. Originally, I made mine on the right, but we can see what it looks like on the left as well. And then this one does get popped up with some dimensionals. I've just got some mini dimensionals here. And it's just going to go over these fun sun rays right in the center. Just like that. Super cute and really fun. And then this one is going to get popped up with some mini dimensionals as well. And we're going to use it to cover up those glue dots from the vellum when we added the vellum. And that's just going to go right underneath. And then we are going to add our sunshine with some dimensionals, but it's so tiny that you need to cut your own little strip. So just go ahead and use the edge of your dimensional sheet and cut about 1/8 of an inch, and then you can add that to the back of the sunshine. And I'm going to place this on the right side, maybe just off that center piece just a little bit. So it's going to look like that. Now we're not quite done because we do need to add those cute gems that you could also get for free from me when you hit a $100 order or more. I love using my Take a Pic tool when adding gems to my cards. So I'm going to use that with a little more of the putty on the end, and we'll just pick up some of these pale papaya gems and add them to the corners. So I've got a small and a big down by the greeting, and then a couple small ones at the top, and maybe another big one, just like that. And now our card is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card using the December 2021 Customer Appreciation products when you purchase through my online store. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images of this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.